Hey, good morning to you, and want to go over a question today. And as always, I recommend that whenever you're doing questions, whoever you're doing questions with, have a sheet of paper out, something to write with, and go through the questions as if you are actually taking your NCLEX. The more you train your mind, the better you'll see your critical thinking and your focus skills will get, especially if you're following a really strong technique. One that I have used with my clients and helping them to really look at the keywords and see what the question is asking them. A nurse knows 2+ bilateral edema in the lower extremities of a client with myocardial infarction who was admitted 2 days ago. The nurse would plan to do which of the following next? So paraphrase, we have a client with 2+ bilateral edema who just had a myocardial infarction 2 days ago. What am I going to do for this client? So let's read the potential statements, and actually your keywords are what? 2+ bilateral, lower extremities, MI, 2 days ago, right? And then plan. What's your plan of action? So A, are you going to review the intake and output records for the last 2 days? B, you're going to change the time of diuretic administration from morning to evening. C, request a sodium restriction of 1 gram a day from the physician. Or do D, order daily weight starting the following morning. So here's the thing. Go ahead and pause and write your answer, and then go ahead and come back. And when you come back, definitely make sure you have your rationale as to why you selected what you did, so you can see if your thinking is in alignment with the question's thinking. So if we look at this, we can look at B. We'll look at A. I always start with the first one. So review the intake and output for the last 2 days. That sounds like something reasonable, right? B, change the time of diuretic. There's nothing in here that says anything about diuretic, right? So we can eliminate that right now. And I know often as nurses, we want to do something now. We want to do something. We read into the statement and we're like, yeah, that sounds very good, but it doesn't say anything about that. Request a sodium prescription of 1 gram from the physician. What does it say about sodium restriction, right? D, order daily weights. If you look at B, C, and D, they're pretty much doing something, implementing something, versus A is the one that says we need to assess. We need to assess what's going on with this client. And if I go to the next page, review the intake and output records. That's the first thing we want to do. Why are they having edema? What's going on? What did they eat? And trust me, the doctors will ask you. Whoever's coming up to see the client will ask you, what's their intake and output? What's going on? How much are they putting in? How much are they putting out? Right? So I hope that helps you. Remember, develop your strategy that you're going to use, because whatever you use to study for your NCLEX is how you're going to take the NCLEX. If you notice a lot of anxiety, a lot of distressing yourself, that's something you want to work on before you take your NCLEX. Be mindful that I am coming out with something that I hope will help plenty of people with the NCLEX mindset. And it's about putting yourself in the right mind frame to take your exam, which means a lot more than just doing questions and answers. Talk to you guys soon.